Hello everybody, welcome to Go Discs, the video series where I review CDs and DVDs for your entertainment. In this video we are looking at the I.O.U self-titled debut album from 1990. So the I.O.U are a band from Liverpool, they are. Four-piece band. The sort of band they are is sort of like a roots rock type of thing, or sort of popish 60s roots type of music that they're trying to do on this album. And sort of suits the time. Well, quite different actually, because at this sort of time in 1990, you gotta remember dance music was a thing, house was sort of around at that time, acid house again, and possibly some and also indie music as well, like indie rock was still rearing its head actually at the time. Indie music was still a thing at that time because you had Stone Roses, you had Happy Mondays also coming out, Pulp was still around, doing the rounds. Blur was sort of they were sort of coming around in the early stages, if you know what I mean. And this came out at a different time because it's completely different from what you used to hear from if you're talking about 1990. And obviously it was the year that Margaret Thatcher resigned from Downing Street as Prime Minister and John Major taken over. I think that's the only possible thing event in 1990 I can think of. So anyway, for the personnel or the members on here, because obviously, anyway, let's go to the members. Lee Mavers, he's a lyricist and lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist, acoustic rhythm guitarist pretty much on here. John Power plays bass. I think he only plays in a few tracks on here. I'm not too sure because obviously during this time, like in the 80s. They were formed in '84. They had different personnel changes for different drummers, guitarists, bass players. John Power was actually, I think, was one of them. I don't know if he's still on or not, because I think this particular this is the original CD release from 1990. It doesn't contain any recording material of any personnel on here. It only contains a poster and the lyrics, and that's it. Or not really a poster, just a little collage of the band, and that's it. And then you just get all the lyrics on here, just lyrics and a little collage of the art from cover, and that's it. So no recording personnel. But I know that John Power was one of the members of the I.O.U. He played bass. Chris Sharrock was on drums, who ended up being the touring drummer for Oasis, and then become the main drummer for BDI in the end. And yeah, and Lee Mavers' brother, actually became the drummer, or sort of became the drummer for this, I think, for most of the tracks on here. I guess so. And I think he did tour also. Hey. So this album had a really sketchy production history, very much. It's been obviously it's quite a cult album, quite a legendary album. So the story goes that since probably since the late 80s, very much, they've been trying to record an album for different producers. Like that's sort of main-stated music history, very much. Because you have Jeremy Allen, Bob Andrews, Mike Hedges, John Leckie, John Porter, and also Steve Lillywhite, who actually eventually produced this album. He eventually produced the album, very much. But they've been going through a lot of producers since then. There's different versions of songs produced with different people, and if you get the deluxe edition of this, you can check those tracks out. There's some really, I'll tell you something, although this album is really good, the Lillywhite produced album is very good, there's some really good versions by different people, like from Mike Hedges and John Leckie. They actually produced some very interesting stuff. Same with John Porter and Anna McDonald and Jamie Alon. They actually, some of the produced tracks are actually quite bad, and these ones in particular. But it's still a very good album. You know, it's still nicely produced, very good. Also, the art is done by Ryan Art, funny name, to do an eye and closed eye as well, which is interesting. I'm not sure about the eye though. It's interesting, sort of artistic, if you know what I mean. But okay. So anyway, track listing. Let's go through these 12 tracks. Track 1, Son of a Gun. Looking at the lyrics of this song is to do with gun crime in America, very much. If you live in America, it's all gun crime. Sort of living a life story. Either be a criminal or something, or plan mass robbery or something, you know, around my life story. I think that's what we mentioned at the beginning. It's a nice opening track, nice bit of guitar. The intro I always like, you know, when Lee Mavis did on his acoustic guitar, opens it up and goes on. It's quite short as well. It's about like 1 minute and 56 seconds long. So interesting, just under 2 minutes. Oh, brilliant. Track 2, I Can't Sleep. This is a 2-minute pop song. Do with people who can't sleep. They much wake up in the middle of the night, see stuff in the middle of the night, like you see a black car in the middle of the night. You look for your window and see what's going on. Train going by, and yeah. So obviously, just how it is. I think that's how Lee Mavis writes. Sometimes you saw go through, talk about America and gun crime, the politics and government, what was going on in America at the time, and to you can't sleep in the middle of the night. It's like a weird juxtaposition going on there. Track 3, Timeless Melody. This was released as a single in 1990 when the album came out. It is quite good. It's a nice little pop song. It is interesting and quite good. Quite enjoyable as well. It's sort of a song you like to go around. Drove around, sometimes on the road now and again. The version I particularly like is the Mike Hedges version that was released in the deluxe edition. It's got more power. It's got like a strong indie type feel to it as well, which is quite nice actually. More heavier, sounds more rocky and guitarish, sort of like that sort of in Sheen type sound, which is quite nice. But the version on here is quite nice actually, and I do enjoy it very much. Track 4, Liberty Ship. This is quite a little jolty one. Is to do with sailing, I think. Well, I think what you mentioned in the song, it's to do with yes, to sailing, like being a sailor and being on the own waves, travelling maybe abroad, doing work as usual, because they grew up in Liverpool, they did, so obviously it sort of relates to that time when places like places like Newcastle and Liverpool, obviously they had like big shipping trades in the harbours, so it's sort of like a reminiscent of it, which is quite interesting. It is jolty and a bit of nice bit of bass line, obviously in there. It's got a bit of a remnant type feel to it, which is quite nice. Track 5, There She Goes. Right, this is the song that made The Lars very famous. Obviously, it's their sort of one-hit wonder. It was released as a single in 1988, and it didn't do much at all. It stalled in the top 30 or in the 30-something charts or something. It wasn't until 2 years later in 1990 when the album came out as well. It was released at sort of the similar time when Margaret Thatcher left Downing Street, and it became a top 20 hit, and it sort of became a soundtrack to people's lives basically afterwards, which is interesting. And it's enjoyable. The version on here by Steve Will is quite good, though it was produced by Bob Andrews first. That had a different mix, and it was a bit shorter, about 2.5 minutes long. This is 2 and about 40 minutes, but it's nice. It is wonderful. It's reminiscent of the 60s pop. It is fantastic. The Mike Hedges version is brilliant as well. Same with the John Leckie version. I do think that's quite good as well. I don't know if they did a version with John Porter. That'll be amazing. Or Jamie Alom or Gary Crowley. I don't know actually, but it'll be interesting to see. But overall, There She Goes. Probably the song that everyone remembers is included on this album. It's the well-stated. It's usually been in a lot of things. It was used in This Is England 90 as well, which was a good choice and opened up at the start of This Is England 90, and it was brilliantly represented what 1990 was at the time. Track 6, Doledrum. Quite a funny one this is. Looking at the lyrics on this one, Doledrum must be a place. It says here, get on the bus, get out of Doledrum. My life goes by in Doledrum. I see 95 in Doledrum. I think Doledrum is a place in Liverpool. I think that they're reminiscent about Council Estate or something. I don't know really, because I never know what Doledrum was. I just never knew what it was. But it's very acoustic when we feel to it. It's a little bit forgetful sometimes, but it's not bad. But I think the version is also recommended is the John Porter version. Geez, that's loud. And it's got sheer power to that. You know, it's got like, it's like being hit in the face, like with War and Sound. Good grief, it's fantastic. Track 7, Feelin. This is a funny little one. It's a nice little short song. It's bouncy. It's very rockabilly. It's very, you know, sort of like reminiscent of rock and roll very much. And I do enjoy it. It's 1 minute 45 seconds, and it's absolutely fantastic. And it was released as a single. How very nice. And it's good. I do enjoy it. It's very bouncy. It's short. It's sort of brilliant. This track 8, Way Out. This is the first single they released on Go Disc, actually, or London Records, actually. They released it in 1987. It had a different. It was produced by Bob Andrews again, but it was different. Had a different opening. It was opened with sort of like hi-hat and those sort of differently, and the tempo was a bit different as well. It was a little bit more higher, I think. It had a bit of a high tempo, but the version on here is quite good. It's an okay version. I think other versions, also the deluxe edition, are quite good. This version's okay. It's not bad. There was a music video produced with Way Out as well, which is quite interesting. One of the earliest ones. It's a cheap produced video with merry-go-rounds, them playing underneath buskers underneath an underpass. It's interesting. I do think so. But it was released. It was the first single. I'll give it credit. It's quite good. Track 9, I.O.U. Again, it's like with Feelin, it's another rockabilly type number. It is very much like I.O.U. It is too much mystery. There's a bit of rhyming on here. On the street, know your knowledge, you must eat your porridge. There's a lot of rhyming on this one. Very much like it's interesting. It's just a rockabilly number. Do a bit of rhyme. How much, you know, I don't know you, anything like that. Sort of like money issues and stuff like that. Also Lone Sharks, and I don't know really, but I don't know what Lemos is singing about on the song particularly, but it's okay. Track 10, Freedom Song. More of an acoustic song this is. It is more sort of gentle. It's called Freedom Song. It is mainly just to do with freedom, really. You know, people have their own opinions of freedom, and it is interesting very much. You know, the world is bent upon complaining Babylon, fading still inside a bomb. Just go live and die, our kingdom come. I believe the day will come, understand where you come from. I'm not scared to die. It is basically to do with the world and how the government is playing out. I think it's sort of relevant today, really. So it's sort of like, it's sort of a cry for help of what Britain has become, I think, in what Lemos has probably written on this album particularly. Track 11, Failure. Again, it's more similar tempo to do with, I think similar to Freedom Song and Way Out. I think it's that sort of thing. Obviously, it's just to do with failure. You know, don't throw a failure over your shoulder. It's holding you back. I think it's just to don't give up in life. Really, I think that's what Lemos is meant to say very much. But I think it's okay. It's not a bad song. It's a little bit forgetful, like some other tracks, but it's okay. Not bad. Track 12, the final song, Looking Glass. Now, compared to all the other songs on this album, the first 11 songs, they're all 3-minute sort of novelty pop songs. These are. This runs about at nearly 8 minutes. Interesting. So, Looking Glass, probably a standout track for me on this album. I think a lot of people remember this one more particularly, but I don't know. It tells me where I'm going, where I'm about, and the devil of the world is taking over the door. You'll be found. Everyone looks in me in the looking glass. I'm in everybody. I don't know really, but it's like seeing the people you know. What they're going. You see them through the looking glass. You see different colours in them. I think you see the true colours of those people you know. Like you're never really sure what they're about. Yeah, it's made to do with. Look at the lyrics. It's mainly to do with people's true colours, really. But I think that's how it is. Very much. You know, it's a decent album. So anyway, that's my sort of review on La's self-titled debut album from 1990, and I'll be doing some more videos on this channel quite soon. But this is just like just a first, if you know what I mean. I will see you for the next video.